If you live in the greater Tampa Bay area, you're probably familiar with Bobby Rich's voice. He has been heard on the airwaves for over 3 decades.
I've been to radio most of my life. I was 12 years old, wanted to be a DJ, and I went to Brown Institute, became a DJ years ago. I won't say what year because that gives away my age, but I remember when I started at Q105 a long time ago, worked there for 12 years and worked at 100.7 for 13 years. And eventually I came back to Q105, and I've been there for over 10 years now.
In addition to his longtime radio career, Bobby remains physically active, participating in many local competitions and charity events. But after a skiing accident, things began to change.
I'm a runaholic. I like to run, and I run so much that the doctor told me to cut back, so I took up triathlons, run, bike, swim, figuring that would be better for me. And I always had back trouble, and I went on a ski trip and wiped out skiing, and that's not real good for your back. I messed it up pretty bad, and I came back and I tried the chiropractor. I tried several things, hoping it would work out. I even ran the Gasparilla Distance Classic, and finally I couldn't take it anymore. I was so messed up when I went back to work that I actually went to the doctor, and he sent me to the emergency room. And they did an x-ray, and he said, you need an MRI. So I went and got the MRI, and that's when they told me, you could have a broken back. So that's when I found out that, it was serious. I need to go to Dr. Bonatti.
Bobby sat down with us before his treatment to describe the pain he was feeling.
My back, and right now, this is just tingling like crazy. It feels like I hit my funny bone all the time. Well, the main problem I have is trying to get a night's sleep, because if I'm not laying flat on my back, it hurts.
After his procedures, he described how the pain affected his life.
The pain was a back pain, but that wasn't the major pain. The major pain was in my arms. The best way to describe it was, it felt like I hit my funny bone, but it never went away. And it was like 10 times the force of a funny bone. And when you have that all the time, it just drives you crazy. It was so much I would feel it on both sides, but this was then the numb hands, especially my left hand would be numb all the time. Driving a car would make it 10 times worse. I went to the chiropractor years ago when I had problems, and he did work. He was very helpful. He would relieve the pain. And then I stopped going when I thought it was better, and it got bad, but when I went on the ski trip and wiped out, that was when it got so bad. I went to him, and it even scared him how messed up my back was, and he said, you should really go get that checked out. And that's when it got to the point where I had to get something done. You couldn't just rub the problem away.
Finally realizing chiropractic care just wasn't a permanent solution, and after some encouragement from his coworkers, he set up an appointment at the Bonatti Spine Institute.
I heard about Dr. Bonatti through our sales department. They wanted him to do commercials on the radio station, and one of the salespeople said, this guy's good. I said, well, I've heard about him. Everybody's heard about Dr. Bonatti. He says, you really should go check him out. He's that good. Whether he goes on the radio or not, you need to go talk to him. So I went, and I'd heard so much about him, and I looked it up and found out just how good he was. So I said, I got to see this guy.
Bobby met with 2 Bonatti physicians during his consultation. They carefully analyzed his symptoms, reviewed his imagery, and tailored a surgical summary.
Dr. Bonatti and Dr. Jones, they came in and they put up the MRI on the light and showed it to me, and they were both kind of shaking their head. And each of them came to the same conclusion, you need to get this fixed. And Dr. Bonatti scared me because he told me, I explained to him I couldn't get off work real easy. He says, you could end up paralyzed if you don't get this fixed. So that's when I realized I got to get something done. So I got the time off work, and I'm so happy I got it done. And when he showed me the MRIs, he had all these names for them that I couldn't understand, but when he pointed his finger at the bones and showed me what they looked like, that was all he had to do. Because my back was really messed up. It was twisted here, twisted there. You could see where it was pinching the nerve, and it made my back hurt more to look at that and realize what was going on.
The patented Bonatti spine procedures are performed utilizing conscious IV sedation. It may sound frightening to some, but this method eliminates the risks involved with traditional anesthesia and allows the patient to communicate with the surgeon with minimal pain.
I had 2 back surgeries. The first one was on Tuesday, and I was pretty sedated in that one. I remember making goofy comments and things like that and had a lot of fun.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
We're literally shaking your nerve, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's amazing how 2 days later on Thursday I had surgery and I felt wide awake. It was a big difference. So it depends on how you react to the drugs that they give you. But you are awake through the whole thing, but you don't feel any pain. But you have to communicate with the doctor as he's working on you. So you're pretty much awake through the whole thing. You're out initially to get set up, and then from then on you're awake. And to make sure, they would have you, move your hands and tell them if there was any feeling of pain anywhere as they went along. Do you feel this? Or if you did feel something, I would tell them. I would say, hey, I felt something there. Where do you feel it? I felt something in my fingers all the way down my hand. So that's how they know if they're touching a nerve or anything as they're working. So you pretty much have to be awake through surgery to make sure they're not touching nerves or anything like that.
Though surgical site soreness can be expected, Bobby's recovery started just after his procedure, and the main cause of his pain was eliminated.
Through my personal experience, it gets to the point where, yes, you have back pains so strong that you'll go in for surgery because you've got to make this stop. When you hurt 24/7, every time you move, it wakes you up because your back hurts so bad. You don't have feelings in your hands. It's driving you crazy. So you take the chance. You have to take the chance. And it's not a choice anymore. It has to be done because you can't live like that anymore. I went in for surgery, and that's when I realized it was going to take 2 surgeries. So I went in on Tuesday for the first surgery, and what amazed me was that afternoon when it was done, I actually felt so much better already. And the next day when I got up, I was told to go walk, which is something you don't expect after back surgery. And my wife and I went for a walk, and we were staying at a hotel in the area because I had to have surgery on the following day. I went for a walk. I felt great. I was surprised. I was telling them I feel terrific. Well, that night though, that's when the swelling kicks in, and that's when you really feel it. The next Thursday, 2 days later after the first surgery, I went in and I had more work done. It was a little sore on my drive home. It was an hour drive, and it was sore for a little while, but I was in pain up till then anyway, so it wasn't any worse. And I knew things were getting better, and it was amazing how fast my major problems went away. It just takes time to heal.
We caught up with Bobby less than a month after his procedures, and he's back at the microphone and in rehearsals for Tampa Bay's Dancing with the Stars.
I would highly recommend Dr. Bonatti. It's night and day, the difference. I hope everybody's as lucky as I am. I was in so much pain. I had to do something to get this taken care of, and I was fortunate enough that after it was over, it didn't linger. It was a little sore in the beginning, I'll admit that, yeah. It was major surgery on my back, but shortly after that, I was feeling fine. I feel like I can run. I'm not doing it, I promise, Doc. I'm not doing it for 6 weeks, I'm not dancing. Oh, I'm dancing, I'm sorry. Well, not really. I'm trying to dance, but I'm not running. Before the surgery, there's no way I would be doing Dancing with the Stars. It's for a great cause, Hands Across the Bay. Julie Weintraub from the Golden Dinosaurs put it together. It is a wonderful reason to do this. And there was no way I thought I'd be ever on the dance floor. And after surgery, it was like, wow, this is amazing how much better I feel. And, the doctor has told me I have to wait 6 weeks before I can do any lifting. So my partner, Kat, I can't spin her over my head yet. I'm gonna have to wait on stuff like that. But I am doing a little dancing. One thing I could say about Dr. Bonatti's office, a lot of people don't realize this, because if you go to other back doctors, you're going to see a doctor at his office, and he's got a little staff there, and they might schedule surgery at a hospital here or there. When you go see Dr. Bonatti, I got my MRIs done there. I got everything taken care of there. It's Bonatti Institute. If you got back trouble, you can get everything taken care of with one stop. That's what was amazing to me. His office is not just an office. So if you need back surgery, definitely Bonatti.